Man, look at Jack back with another banger. Hey, make sure you hit that like button, subscribe to the channel. That we finna get into that boy Davon Bennett. And to y'all who knows him as King Von, but his name is Davon Bennett. We finna get into this video. So tap in, you feel me? Let's get into it.
His last words to his fans were on Instagram, "God got me." Just 2 hours later, he was lying in a pool of blood,
That's crazy, bro.
dying outside a nightclub in Atlanta.
Damn.
King Von didn't just rap about violence, he lived it. He survived.
Not just living it, that boy's storytelling was on another level, bro. Like that what people drew into King Von because his storytelling. Even though he was living what he was talking about in his songs, just the way he put his words together, he made you think, like put you right there with him as he was doing this shit, bro. And it was just like on another level, bro. Like to me, he was gonna be better than Dirk, bro. If he would have stayed alive long, he was gonna surpass Dirk, bro. Like
Jail,
not the truth.
beat a murder charge, and became one of Chicago's most feared and admired storytellers. But on November 6, 2020, the streets caught up to him. He was 26, famous, armed, and seconds away from a fight that would end in gunfire, 2 dead, and a murder charge that would shake the rap world to its core.
That shit's crazy.
This is the true story of a rapper raised in war, and the code that killed him. He was born Davon Daquin Bennett, but the world knew him as King Von, a young man from the heart of Southside Chicago who turned his pain into platinum. To his fans, he was a lyrical genius, raw, vivid, and unapologetically real. To law enforcement, he was a reputed gang member, a suspect in multiple shootings, and a symbol of a violent genre born in the streets. By 2020, King Von wasn't just another rapper. He was a voice of the drill scene, a movement defined by truth, trauma, and territorial warfare. His songs didn't just entertain, they chronicled the codes of survival in one of America's deadliest urban war zones. But beneath the fame was a darker reality. Von wasn't rapping about the streets from a distance. He was still deep in it, loyal to O Block, affiliated with the Black Disciples, and surrounded by a circle that blurred the line between music and murder. How does someone go from a jail cell in Cook County to the Billboard charts, and then back into the crosshairs of street justice? How did King Von go from surviving shootouts in Chicago to dying in one 700 miles away in Atlanta? This is more than just a rap story. It's about legacy, loyalty, and the deadly weight of reputation. Because in Von's world, image wasn't just everything. It was life or death. Before the fame, before the music, before the headlines, there was just a boy named Davon. Born on August 9, 1994 in Chicago, Illinois, Davon Bennett grew up in Parkway Gardens, better known to the streets as O Block. A cluster of low-income housing on the south side, O Block isn't just a neighborhood, it's a battlefield. Named after O.D. Perry, a slain gang member, O Block is one of the most notorious strongholds of the Black Disciples, one of Chicago's most feared street gangs. Davon's father, Walter Silk Bennett, was in and out of his life.
I said dad was out here stepping too. That's why somebody had to, sniper from afar, because that boy was like that in the streets. So RP and daddy too, you heard me?
A street figure himself, Silk was shot and killed when Von was just a child, a loss that would scar him deeply. "Ever since I was little, death been real to me," King Von in a 2020 interview. Von was raised by his mother and siblings, moving between hardship and survival. By the age of 13, he had already been exposed to gang culture, not through movies or lyrics, but in real time. Shootouts outside his building, friends disappearing, blood on the concrete. School offered no real escape. Von was in and out of trouble, often suspended, eventually arrested. By his late teens, he had joined the Black Disciples, aligning with O Block in the ongoing war with rival factions like STL-EBT, affiliated with the Gangster Disciples. This wasn't just a gang beef. It was generational, territorial, and deeply personal. On Chicago's South Side, every block had its dead. Every name on a mural had a story. And Von would soon add his own. He wasn't just a soldier, he was a thinker, cold, calculated, and known to retaliate. In 2014, he was arrested and charged with 1 count of murder and 2 counts of attempted murder in connection to a shooting that killed a man named Malcolm Stuckey and injured 2 others. Von spent over 3 years in Cook County Jail awaiting trial.
That's crazy word.
But in a shocking turn, the charges were dropped due to lack of evidence and he walked free. It was during this time behind bars that something changed. Not the violence, that remained, but the vision. Vaughn started writing, rapping, seeing another path. When he came home, fellow rapper and O-Block native Lil Durk signed him to Only the Family, OTF, and Davon Bennett became King Von. From the block to the booth, from the county jail to a recording studio in Atlanta. But even with the mic in his hand, Vaughn never let go of the streets. November 6, 2020, Atlanta, Georgia, 3:20 a.m. The streets outside Monaco Hookah Lounge were lit with headlights and tension. It was a typical late night, music, celebrities, entourages, and egos. But not far from the VIP section, two paths were about to collide, and the fallout would be deadly. King Von had just dropped his debut studio album, Welcome to O-Block, 6 days earlier. He was celebrating, but he wasn't alone. His crew, including O-Block affiliates and fellow rappers, moved with purpose.
Bro, no, I don't know if y'all heard his last album, bro. Like, it was kind of like, it was like eerie, bro, because he was speaking like if he was to die, bro. He's like, it came from his side. He was like, don't let them flunkies touch my casket. You feel me? Like that, like it's crazy. Like them boys be picking that shit into existence, bro. Like he knew he was finna get taken out. If y'all listen to his last album, bro, like he knew somebody was gonna do that. He knew he was gonna get hit in the street and get took to the hospital in the car, bro. Bro, it's weird, bro. You gotta listen to that last album, bro. That shit's creepy, bro.
Across town, a rival was also present. Quando Rondo, a rapper from Savannah, Georgia, with ties to the Rollin' 60s Crips.
Yeah,
what most people didn't know was this. Vaughn and Quando weren't just rivals in music. Tensions had been simmering beneath the surface. Social media sneak disses, allegiances drawn through affiliations, and according to close sources, Vaughn hadn't planned to confront him until a phone call changed everything. 3:23 a.m. Surveillance footage later showed a black SUV pull into the Monaco parking lot. Vaughn stepped out, surrounded by his team. Less than a minute later, he spotted Quando Rondo. There were no words, no warnings. Vaughn walked straight toward him.
Put hands and feet on that boy.
What followed was chaos. A flurry of fists, screams, bodies pushing and pulling, then shots rang out. In a matter of seconds, Vaughn was hit multiple times. One bullet struck his chest, fatally. Another man, Mark Blakely, also known as Slutty, was also killed.
Slutty.
A third, Louis Knowles, was...
Hey, Slutty finna stand out that boy Timmy and delete him. You heard me? His gun jammed up and the police, got my boy. You heard me? But RP that boy Slutty. That's T-Roy, the brother, you did, man. RP T-Roy too.
Was wounded. The shooter, Lowell Tim, real name Timothy Leaks, Quando Rondo's affiliate and friend. According to police reports, Tim opened fire in defense of Quando. He was arrested the next day and charged with murder. Vaughn was rushed to Grady Memorial Hospital in critical condition. But by 3:55 a.m.
But I don't understand how the Tim, he got off, but he was a felon with a gun. It let you know that was trying to get that boy Vaughn up out here, but make it make sense. You a felon with a gun. You upping it. You feel me? Make it make sense.
The news was confirmed. Davon Bennett, King Von, was dead. Age 26. The scene outside the hospital was tense. Vaughn's friends clashed with hospital security. Police swarmed the area. Rumors began spreading like wildfire. Fans were in disbelief. The streets were buzzing. But for those who knew Vaughn, they weren't surprised. One of his last tweets read, "Don't cry for me, I'm a gangsta." As news of King Von's death spread, disbelief turned to outrage. Twitter, Instagram, rap blogs. Within minutes, his name was trending worldwide. Fans flooded his last posts with broken heart emojis and tributes. In Chicago, the mood turned dark. O-Block had lost a prince and the streets don't forget. Back in Atlanta, the Atlanta Police Department began piecing together the scene. At least 6 security cameras had captured parts of the incident. Witness statements confirmed that the fight started with fists, but ended with gunfire. Investigators identified the shooter as Timothy Leaks, a 22-year-old who had been hospitalized that same morning with a gunshot wound. Just hours later, Leaks, known in the streets as Lil Tim, was arrested and charged with the murder of Davon Bennett. But this case wasn't open and shut. His defense? Self-defense. Georgia's stand your ground laws would now come into play. According to Lil Tim's attorneys, he acted to protect Quando Rondo, who had been blindsided by the attack. Meanwhile, Quando Rondo stayed silent. He canceled shows. His team issued a vague statement claiming he wasn't looking for trouble, only peace. But the damage had been done. Social media became a war zone. Fans took sides. O-Block associates posted threats. Lil Tim received death wishes. Quando's crew braced for retaliation. In Chicago, murals of Von went up. In Atlanta, police ramped up patrols around rap venues. Rumors swirled that other rappers were being watched by law enforcement. Some even suggested Von's music was being used to map out gang connections and ongoing investigations. Even in death, Von's lyrics were dissected by authorities. Tracks like Crazy Story and Took Her to the O blurred the line between storytelling and confession. Critics argued that the line between art and evidence had disappeared. And for Von's family, the pain was personal. His sister, Kayla B., broke down online. His mentor, Lil Durk, went dark on social media for days. When he returned, he did so with a heavy heart, posting, "My twin gone. I'll never be the same." As of early 2023, Lil Tim remained out on bond. The trial? Delayed. The future? Unclear. But one thing is certain, that night outside Monaco Hookah didn't just take King Von's life, it deepened a cycle of violence that continues to haunt hip-hop to this day. King Von's story didn't end on that Atlanta street. In some ways, that's where it began. The industry mourned him, fans immortalized him, songs he never lived to see charted went viral. Welcome to O-Block was hailed as one of the most vivid debut albums in years. But underneath the applause was an undeniable truth. Von was still at war, even when he made it out. He was proof that talent can rise from tragedy, but also a reminder that talent alone doesn't guarantee escape. The streets raised him, the gang protected him, and the code he lived by, the loyalty, the retaliation, the silence, eventually became the same code that buried him. His lyrics weren't just entertainment. They were confessions, warnings, time capsules of a life lived on the edge. You either go and get rich or you go and die trying to. King Von, 3 a.m. So what do we make of King Von? Was he a gifted storyteller? Or a street soldier who never put down the gun? Was he changing his life? Or repeating a cycle too old to break? To some, he was a menace. To others, a martyr. But to those who knew him, he was more than a headline, more than a mugshot. He was a son, a brother, a friend, a man with a past who never had the chance to write his full future. As of today, the case remains unresolved. Lil Tim awaits trial, Quando Rondo walks free, and the rap world continues to balance between artistry and aftermath. But one thing is clear. King Von didn't just rap about the streets, he lived them. And in the end, they took him back. His life, his lyrics, and his loyalty were all
RP that boy King Von, aka Davon Bennett, you hear me? Make sure you like and subscribe to the channel though. RP that man.